NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Ford Motor Company, building tomorrow's cars today. And by Sperry, we understand how important it is to listen.
From Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California, CBS Sports presents the Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with George Allen. And let it be duly noted that George Allen teams have beaten Tom Landry teams more time than vice versa. So what about the 49ers? Do they stand any kind of a chance at all?
Vinny, I think they do. The 49ers are an improved football team. Dallas can't take them lightly. If Dallas comes out here and thinks they have an easy game, starts making mistakes, the 49ers could upset them. The 49ers are going to have to throw the football, I think, to win or have a chance. It'll be interesting to see, Vinny, how the 49ers use O.J. Simpson today. I think if they screen to him, draw to him, throw to him, and not overuse him, he could be a factor.
All right, let's go down to the field and find out about the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. For the Niners, they won the toss and elected to receive. So Rafael Septien, numero uno, for Dallas will be kicking off. The Cowboys coming in here after getting a scare in St. Louis, and of course San Francisco coming in here after losing a heartbreaker to Minnesota. So Septien has teed it up on the 35, and the deep men for San Francisco, Linville Elliott, number 35, James Owens, number 20, and we're about ready to lock in. Septien kicking it down to the 5-yard line. James Owens actually taking it on the 3, and the kid from UCLA is across the 20 to the 22-yard line, where the Niners will put it in play, 1st and 10. Let's take a look at the 49er backfield with the quarterback Steve DeBerg. O.J. has returned. He hasn't played since November 5th last year, and the running back Mike Hogan, who had a pretty good day last week. Mike Schumann, along with Freddie Solomon and Paul Seal, the tight end. Seal starting in place of McAfee. And here come the Niners, 1st and 10 on their own 23-yard line. DeBerg over Fred Quill in the center. Rolling right with Hogan on the other end of the pass, and he's at the 35 to the 40. Cliff Harris can't quite hold on to him, and Benny Barnes has to knock him out of bounds for a 1st down at about the San Francisco 47-yard line.
Well, this is a good opening call. We call that a waggle pass. The backs go one way, the quarterback goes the other. Dallas was fooled and blew their coverage. Hogan is a hard runner, strong runner, makes people break tackles. A big play to open the ball game.
George, you said that the only way the Niners could play would be to pass, and they've started right off. So 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 47-yard line. Schumann is wide right. O.J. is the deep man behind Hogan, and here comes O.J. inside a Farnhorse block, and he gets across the 45-yard line. Keith Farnhorse, number 71, made the play work.
On this play, they lined up in an I formation with O.J. at tailback and pitched it out and let him run wide. He's better running wide than inside at this stage. He's kind of feeling his way. That's his first carry since November of last year. He's carrying the ball a little bit loosely.
So it is 2nd and 3, a pickup of 7. The 49ers started on their own 21, and they have moved it to the Dallas 45. And it's Hogan and O.J. Schumann is wide right, Solomon left, and Hogan running into a gang of people, and primarily as he falls down shy of the 40-yard line. Bob Brunig, the middle linebacker, coming up to make the initial contact.
Now this is a slant play with O.J. attempting to block the linebacker. This type of a play isn't going to be too successful against the Dallas defense.
It was enough, however, to pick up the 1st down. So the 49ers have it 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. Freddie Solomon wide left, Schumann wide right. Clark is in there on a wingback position, and DeBerg low over the middle to Schumann. He's to the 35 and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And the 49ers are putting it up, and they're moving, George.
This pass is, we call this pass a China pass. It's an underneath delayed pattern where the wide receiver lets the backs clear out, and then he comes underneath. Again, this is a pass that's stopped by the linebackers. The linebackers had their backs turned, didn't see the play develop.
So DeBerg picking up his yardage by huge chunks from the 21-yard line to the Dallas 30 now. Schumann again wide right. Paul Seal, the tight end, is on the right side, and Solomon hooks up on the line of scrimmage. Hogan in motion to the left, a draw to O.J. He has nowhere to go, but he gets a block from Hogan and gets out of bounds at the 25. Mike Hogan had to come back to help him out.
Mike Hogan made a good block there, Vinny, and this is a good play. We said screens and draws with O.J. would be good. Now watch Hogan come back in, put a pretty good block on, allowed him to pick up a few yards. He's still carrying that ball loosely.
And it would appear as if he's carrying it in the wrong arm because he doesn't have his body to protect the ball. There you can see the linebackers, Hegman, Brunig, and Lewis. Hegman playing for Thomas Henderson, at least at the outset. Barnes, Kyle, Hughes, and Harris in the secondary. 2nd and 5 on the 25 of Dallas. DeBerg has him on the move. In motion goes O.J. DeBerg looking right, going down high to Schumann, and he makes the catch at the 15-yard line. And Benny Barnes had to knock him down, and they are punching holes in the Dallas secondary.
Benny, Dallas doesn't look like they're ready to play. They're a little bit sluggish. There's no pass rush here. They sent O.J. in motion. A nice hook pattern, safe pass, intermediate type of pass to throw. DeBerg is throwing the short passes, intermediate passes.
And, of course, Tom Landry watching the 49ers work particularly on Hegman and Barnes' side, which would be the Dallas left side. So it is 1st and 10 from the Cowboy 15. DeBerg with backs flaring and the pass to Hogan, and he gets away from D.D. Lewis, but did not quite get back to the line of scrimmage. D.D. missed him, but did slow him up. Larry Cole finally bringing him down.
When Hogan was with the Philadelphia Eagles, we made a little study on him, and very seldom did the first man bring him down. Here's an example. He's always getting 2 or 3 yards with second effort and hard, strong running.
Hogan, by the way, was 17th in the NFC last year. But, and this is the key, he made 41 first downs on the ground. He gets the tough yards for you. 2nd and 11 from the 16. Here comes O.J. Inside, a block by John Ayers, and he's brought down by Brunig at the 11-yard line. And it was John Ayers, number 68, who threw the key block.
Again, the I formation, flipping the ball to the tailback. O.J. getting him outside. O.J. is about a step or a half a step slow from breaking. He changed the ball to his left arm that time, which is a good thing to do, and tried to stiff arm.
O.J. coming out now to get a breather. So in the backfield, Lenville Elliott, number 35, is running with Mike Hogan. Schumann is wide right, and Brewer, normally a tight end, is shaken loose wide left. DeBerg was looking into the corner. No good. Intended for Lenville Elliott, number 35, and he led him by maybe a half a step too much.
Well, he was wide open, Vinny. He had a touchdown there. The ball was... Watch DeBerg go back. He wants to hit the backs. Elliott is open on this, but he overthrew him just a little bit. Look at that. The ball had to be thrown on the line, so Elliott didn't have a chance to adjust to it.
Henderson had no chance. Cliff Harris tried to come over and correct. It still didn't help, but the pass was long. So the spot by Joe Montana will be on the 20-yard line. It's a 30-yard field goal attempt by Ray Wershing, and this is his distance. He's usually deadly from here, and he's through the upright. Ray Wershing has now kicked 4 out of 5 this year for the Niners. San Francisco 3, Dallas nothing.
Sorry. I said we are not interested in their proposal.
The meeting is next Thursday, Bill.
60 long tons on September. Fredericks, are you listening to me?
If there's one thing you should remember about this deal...
Not knowing how to listen has cost American business billions of dollars. Well, as one of the world's major corporations, we at Sperry are doing something about it. We've set up extensive listening programs that Sperry employees worldwide can take part in. And when you do business with Sperry Univac or any of our other divisions, you're going to discover that Sperry listens like no one you've ever done business with.
80,000! I said 8,000. No.
Sperry, we understand how important it is to listen.
So the San Francisco 49ers started on their own 21, and in 10 plays, they get a 30-yard field goal from Ray Wersching. They're on the boards, and they're leading Dallas 3-0. Combination, perhaps, of some accurate DeBerg passes, and as George Allen pointed out, Dallas perhaps a little sluggish in getting started. Deep for Dallas, number 20, Ron Springs, number 22, up in the right-hand corner, Wade Manning.
22 wearing Bob Hayes' uniform over there.
That's a big number to live up to.
It sure is.
There it is. Wade Manning, who had a 47-yard kickoff return last week. That was a big one. But this is Springs from the 3 to the 20. Missed by Owens. Gray can't get him, and he runs out of bounds. And we'll see they'll spot it at the 33-yard line. Both Owens and Gray unable to bring him down. Take a look at Dallas. He's had a tender elbow, and he didn't touch a football until he warmed up before the game. Roger Staubach. Returning into the starting lineup, bad toe and all, Tony Dorsett and Scott Laidlaw, who had been banged up with a left hamstring, is back in for Newhouse and Brinson. Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, and Billy Joe Dupree. And now here come the Pokes. 1st and 10 on their own 34-yard line. Staubach has Dorsett at halfback and Laidlaw the fullback. In motion is Drew Pearson. Second man is Dorsett. And he takes a lick, and a hard one. Coming up was Tony Dungy, number 27. Dungy, a free agent out of Pittsburgh, giving Dorsett a high chop. Take a look at the defense, but look at 27 especially. He'll get his lick in on Dorsett.
Well, they ended up in an I formation with motion, giving the ball to Dorsett, which is a good running set and his best set to carry the football.
So Tony Dungy, only 6', 188, 3-year man out of Minnesota. 2nd and 6 for the Pokes. Dorsett with Rafferty putting a good block on Harper, and Dorsett getting out, and it was a key block that time by Rafferty. So the unsung heroes, the offensive lineman, and Tom Rafferty, number 64, threw that block on right side linebacker Willie Harper to make the play go, and it's 1st and 10 for Dallas, the ball on their own 44-yard line. Let's take a look at San Francisco. Reese, Vincent, Webb, and Hardman. Vincent is a newcomer. They just picked him up from Cincinnati. They have Scott Hilton along with Dan Bunz and Willie Harper. Harper's banged up, but he's playing. Secondary, they have a meeting just to meet each other. Morgan, Lewis, Gray, and Dungy. Gray coming over from Kansas City. Dungy coming from Pittsburgh. And an old friend of George Allen's, Gerard Williams, has just joined San Francisco. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of the telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. 1st and 10 on the Cowboy 44. Dorsett on a wing. Now comes back with Laidlaw. Hill wide left, Pearson right. Play action fake to Dorsett, and Staubach, a high pass to Dupree, chased by Scott Hilton, and down he goes as Dungy came over to help Hilton on the San Francisco 40-yard line.
Well, this is a fine call by Roger. Play action pass with Dupree coming underneath. Real tough to cover. Your linebackers have to buzz and be in a position to break that up. This is an interesting series here, because if the 49ers defense can't hold up today and stop Dallas's offense, they aren't going to have a chance. And the way Dallas is moving down the field after that spirited drive by the 49ers offense takes away some of the achievements.
Doug Crosby, a tight end in there, number 84 now, along with Dupree. And it's still Dorsett and Laidlaw. Pitch back to Laidlaw with Dorsett blocking. Dan Bunz and Willie Harper, the linebackers, along with the ever-present Tony Dungy up there to make the hit. But they've moved it inside the 35. What is it about Roger Staubach that makes him the great player that he is,
well,
Coach?
Vinny, we used to have a running battle going all the time. Our number one goal was to contain Staubach when we defense Dallas. Contain him, mix our coverages, shift, disguise our defenses, try to dictate to him. But he's a competitor. He plays with bumps and bruises. He's a great quarterback.
He's never thrown an interception against San Francisco. 76 and now 78 passes. Saldi is in motion, the tight end to the left side, and here comes Laidlaw. Ran around Hardman, Flags on the play, however, and he is smothered at the 30-yard line, but will wait on the call. The referee is Jerry Seaman, the umpire Frank Sinkvitz, and we'll get the call from Jerry Seaman in a moment. And you can see a legal procedure against Dallas. So the rule book will slow up the Cowboys, at least for the moment.
The last game that I saw Dallas play in person, Laidlaw had over 100 yards Thanksgiving Day against the Redskins.
He's had 2 knee operations, has Scott Laidlaw, bruised ribs. He's had a hamstring. He replaced Newhouse last year and scored 7 touchdowns in 6 games. And he is coming back after a pretty severely pulled left hamstring. That's Scott Laidlaw out of Stanford. And now here's the official call.
Illegal shift, number 88, offense.
That would be Drew Pearson, who was illegally shifting, and Tom Landry checking his charts. It is 3-0 San Francisco on a 30-yard Ray Wersching field goal, but the 49ers have it 2nd and 10 on the San Francisco 38. Pitch back to Dorsett with Laidlaw trying to block for him, and he goes nowhere. So Dallas trying to keep a drive going that started on their own 34.
The 49ers played that the way you want to play it on defense. 59, Willie Harper strung the play out, if we can see him. See that? Look at it. He's got both blockers. He's handling both blockers. He's keeping his feet moving. Look at that. Beautiful. And turned it in, and now your pursuit makes the play. That's picture defense.
Willie Harper has been banged up, but he made a marvelous defensive play. 3rd and 7 on the San Francisco 35-yard line. And now Preston Pearson is in there. Out of the shotgun comes Staubach, looking deep and going long to Dupree. No good. Dupree was looking for that pass over his left shoulder, and it wound up over his right.
Well, shotgun formation. First of all, Staubach had good protection. Dupree is open. He's looking to his left rather than his right. Could have had a big play there.
So he looked left, then when he looked right, it was too late, and Danny White coming in. White, 2 for 5 in punts against St. Louis. His longest was 43, and the longest in last year, he kicked 156. So deep for 49ers would be Freddie Solomon and Tom Dungy. And Danny White out of Arizona State, 3rd-round draft choice, will be kicking from the San Francisco 46-yard line, angling to the right side, and Solomon will let it go, and we'll see where they mark it.
Good kick.
It looks like they're going to mark it at the 6-yard line. So San Francisco deep in its own territory, leading 3-0.
It's official. Ford's answer to rebates, the largest incentives ever available to its dealers. The biggest clearance offer in Ford history just got bigger. See your Ford dealer and discover how many hundreds of dollars you can save on new trimmer LTDs, Mustang pace car replicas, elegant Thunderbirds, top V8 pickups, vans, Broncos, Rancheros. Compare the total Ford deal with any other. You may well find it's the best value overall.
Searching for oil here in the U.S. had gotten harder and harder. We laid miles of heavy seismic cable just about everywhere we could. Then, Phillips came up with a new way to search, using portable units like this. It works in mountains, swamps, hundreds of places too hard to search before. So soon, this country may be crawling with crews like ours, looking for oil here at home to replace some that's now being bought from foreign countries.
Phillips Petroleum. Good things for cars and the people who drive them.
New this fall, catch California Fever, when every day is sun and fun and every night is something else. Jimmy McNichol and Mark McClure star in California Fever.
We have 7 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the first quarter. This is Vin Scully along with George Allen from Candlestick Park, where the 49ers on a 29-yard field goal by Ray Wersching are leading Dallas 3-0. However, after a good punt by Danny White, the Niners take over 1st and 10 on their own 6-yard line. And James Owens, a burner, is coming in now as a wide receiver. In the backfield, they have Phil Francis and Lenville Elliott. Owens in motion. Second man is Lenville Elliott. And he's just shy of the 10-yard line. Benny Barnes coming up to make the tackle.
Well, they used 20 Owens as a decoy, sent him in motion, changed the strength of the formation, and ran the other way.
Steve DeBerg, should keep in mind, was particularly ineffective on third down passes last year. He completed just 35% of third down passes. So if he gets into that spot, we'll see what kind of a marked improvement he might have after getting last year under his belt. He started 11 games for the 49ers, but he had only one win while he was in there. 2nd and 6 from the 9. O.J. slipped and still fought for a couple of yards. I think he hit at the right side of the pitching mound here at Candlestick and slipped. Watch.
Well, it's hard to tell there. Still running from the I formation. This time they went up the gut, inside. They had 2 tight ends in that place. They had Seals and Brewer.
3rd down and 3 for San Francisco. 6:20 left to go in the first. Phil Francis at fullback, O.J. the halfback, the deep man. DeBerg rolling and looking down the right side, high and almost intercepted by Randy Hughes as he was fighting a tight end, Paul Seal, but he couldn't quite hold on to it.
Well, here's a partial rollout. It's designed as a pass. He's trying to hit number 85, and he was jammed. Ball should have been intercepted. Nice play.
Randy Hughes, of course, taking over for one of the great ones, the injured Charlie Waters. So it is 4th and 2 from the 13. Dan Melville, you see that average? It was best in the NFL last week. Just a rookie. Melville out of California, so he knows the territory. Bad pass, low kick, and he barely got it away. Steve Wilson was there to get in on it, and the return by Tony Hill. He'll go down inside the 40-yard line. Well, Steve Wilson, number 81, who was cut by Dallas and then came back. Well, came in on that smothering pass.
Bad snap. Lucky the ball wasn't blocked. Everything starts with a snap.
And there's a flag on the play. So evidently it will go against Dallas on the return by Tony Hill. Here's the bad snap from center. Fred Quillen, the center. Here comes Wilson from the left. And Wilson is spun on his numbers.
Foul. Clipping, number 34, receiving team.
So number 34 would be Aaron Mitchell, who's a rookie, and he is guilty of the infraction. With 5:55 to go in the first quarter, San Francisco 3 and Dallas nothing.
30 years ago, on a hot summer's day, your father taught you how to dig for clams. Now that it's a job, the sun seems hotter and the day longer, but the clams taste just as sweet. And now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
Ever since American Airlines flew the first passenger jet across this country, we've been bringing people closer together. And now, with the Super Saver fares we pioneered, you can save 40 or 50% all over American's America. From Albany to Albuquerque, from Nashville to Knoxville, from sea to shining sea.
We're American Airlines, going from wing to west.
The Cardinals defeated the Giants 27-14 in a thriller. Washington and Detroit. Washington winning it 27-24. Another final, New Orleans, Green Bay. Green Bay coming from behind to win it 28-19. Minnesota and Chicago 26-7 Bears. Walter Payton carried for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. Well, look at that New England, 56-3 over the hapless Jets. Meanwhile, Staubach is going wide right to his big tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, who is knocked out of bounds. Coming over is Charles Cornelius, and looking on, a great tight end, George Mike Ditka.
Yeah, I signed Mike to his first contract. He's doing a fine job coaching. I think he's an excellent prospect for a head coaching job.
The reason you saw Ditka put his hand to his face, there'll be a penalty against Dallas. We'll duck in more. Buffalo not only defeated Cincinnati 51-24, Roland Hook scored 4 touchdowns for Buffalo.
Holding, number 67, offense.
So a holding penalty against Pat Donovan. So 2 penalties have hurt the Pokes
That
here.
really used to upset me. When we had field position and one of our players committed a foul, I got all over him.
You want to shoot him, huh?
Jay.
So it is 1st and 20 on the Dallas 35-yard line. Dorsett is the tailback behind Laidlaw. Drew Pearson wide right. Dorsett is going to be eaten up by number 75, Ted Vincent, who is a former Bengal, just picked up. Vincent able to slide off the block by Tom Rafferty.
You know, most of the good plays on defense, it's interesting, the man isn't blocked. Nobody really blocked Vincent on that play. He moved well, read his key, and made the tackle.
So now Ted Vincent, who was in there strictly to put some heat on Staubach, does just that to Dorsett, and it's 2nd and 25 from the 30. Hill is wide right, Drew Pearson wide left. Staubach over the middle, and he's got Tony Hill, Buns, and Johnson able to make the hit.
Benny, I can tell you right now, the way this game's going to go, unless the 49ers put more pressure on Roger, he's going to eat him up. You can't give him that much time to throw with the receivers that they have.
When you realize that young Tommy Kramer exploited the San Francisco defensive secondary in particular, well, you almost shudder at what Staubach
I think
did.
what we can look forward to is some dogs. Come after him with some dogs to give him a little rush.
3rd and 7 on the Dallas 48-yard line. Hill goes right. Dupree is shaken loose in a slot left inside Pearson. Preston Pearson is in there now, and the pass is to Preston Pearson, and he's inside the 40 and hog-tied down at about the 37 by Gerard Williams and Willie Harper. And Williams, a newcomer, just joined the 49ers.
I think Williams is going to help the 49ers. Again, look at the time Roger has to throw.
And remember, Dallas had a 2nd and 25, and they've able to move it 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 37. So it would appear outside of those 2 penalties, they can almost move at will. 1st and 10 on the 37. Staubach to Laidlaw. Scott stumbled, and the play couldn't go.
Nice
Herbert
play.
Scott fell down.
Also a nice play by Gerard Williams. The right corner, watch him come up and fill like he should. Watch him come right up here. There he is. Putting his shoulder in, making a tackle.
And had Scott, the pulling guard, been able to stay on his feet, he might have been able to throw the block on Gerard Williams, but once he stumbled and fell down, the door was open for the 4-year man from Langston to come up and make the tackle.
Williams is better on the left corner than the right corner. He's played most of his football on the left side.
And that's just where he's going right now. It is 2nd and 9 from the 36 of San Francisco. Play action fake to Dorsett. And Staubach deep down the middle, and no good. Charles Cornelius had his hands on it, and the 3-year man out of Bethune Cookman couldn't quite hold on to it.
Well, you know, sometimes you can have too much time to throw. That sounds strange, but Roger has all day to throw. And he was very forced he didn't throw an interception there.
If Cornelius had held on to that ball, he would have had an open alley, and he can run. He's been known to do the 40 and 4.5. So Staubach's calling a 3rd and 9 play from the San Francisco 36. 49 is leading 3-0.
Here's where you get the first down. Get the first down with a stop pattern or hit your tight end in a crossing pattern.
Staubach from the shotgun with Preston Pearson blocking, and it's to Hill, no good, with Gerard Williams picking up Tony Hill.
Well, he went for the big play rather than getting the first down. I like to get the first down, 9-10 yards. The big plays will come later.
So in other words, really, you second-guess Staubach's call.
Yes, I think that to try to get it all in one play, unless it's a broken pattern there.
So Dallas first stymied by 2 penalties, a clip and a holding penalty. Still got a drive underway, only to have it fizzle out on the 36, and Danny White will be kicking to Freddie Solomon, number 88, Tony Dungy, number 27. Danny White with a 39-yard average against St. Louis last week. And he had to punt 5 times. Almost blocked, and a flag. Eddie Lewis. It is Eddie Lewis who was the big flaw in San Francisco last week.
Stupidity. First of all, you're never going to block the ball going in the way he did. He went, watch him. He goes right into the kicker. You block the ball by getting out in front here. Laying out in front. That's how you lose football games.
And, of course, Eddie Lewis was burned twice last week by Ahmad Rashad, and now he commits a guilty play here just when the 49ers were ready to take over the ball.
You can't give a good football team like Dallas breaks like that and give them field position.
He's a second-round draft choice out of Kansas, and he's looking for a hole right now because there's no doubt about the infraction, and now the Cowboys lick their chops.
Number 22, defense.
And they didn't even have the block on along with it. Stupidity.
And, of course, Bill Walsh would agree with you completely, Coach, because now a fired-up Dallas team has it 1st and 10 on their own 32. Drew Pearson wide left. Dupree, the tight end, on the left side. Second man, Dorsett, looking for a place to hide. And it's on the ground. Archie Reese, who is 6'3", was there to head him off at the pass and turn him inside.
You know, when we played Dallas, Vinny, we felt that we had a goal with Tony Dorsett. We didn't want him to have a run over 9 yards. That's the longest run we'd give him is 9 yards. That was our goal. So far, San Francisco's defense and Dorsett pretty good. And Dorsett's not running with as much aggressiveness as I'd like to see him.
Of course, playing with that broken toe as a result of dropping a mirror on it. It's 2nd and 13 from the San Francisco 35. Roger looking deep again. Going for Tony Hill. No good. Charles Cornelius was there to defend once again.
And there's a flag on the play.
Good play by Cornelius, but let's find out about the official interpretation of the penalty flag. It could be holding and maybe roughing the passer. Let's see. It'll be up to referee Jerry Seaman to give us the official wording as he talks to Jimmy Webb.
When you're a big favorite and you're expected to win, there's a tendency to be impatient. Go for the bomb. Hit a home run right away. Rather than punch it out, get the first downs. That's what Rogers doing right now.
Holding, number 67, offense.
That would be Pat Donovan, the 5-year man out of Stanford. So he knows this area, and he had a pretty good grip, I believe, on Jimmy Webb, number 74. So the holding penalty sends the ball back to the San Francisco 45, where it is 2nd and 23. Tony Hill is right. Drew Pearson is left. Dupree is on the left side, and it's still Dorsett and Laidlaw. Staubach to Dupree, and Tim Gray will knock him out of bounds, but the big tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, and what a horse he has been. He caught 9 touchdown passes for Dallas last year.
Now, this is the type of passing game that'll be effective against the 49ers. Intermediate passes. We call that a drag pattern by the tight end. The flanker cleared out. Gerard Williams had to go deep with him.
And now Tom Landry has a big call, 3rd and 11 from the San Francisco 32. Tony Hill is right, Pearson left. Dupree is shaken into the slot, and Preston Pearson is on a wing as they go out of the shotgun. Staubach down the right side. All alone is Tony Hill, and he runs out of bounds. He tries to avoid Johnson. Well, big play, 1st and goal.
This is what we predicted that they could do to the 49ers defense. Very little pressure. A blow in coverage. The defense wasn't played properly, front and back.
And, of course, Tony Hill is from Stanford, and what is particularly galling, when he was at Stanford, he broke all of Gene Washington's passing records, and now he comes back with Dallas to give the Bay Area a bad time. Tony Hill, 3-year man, is a third-round draft choice in '77. First and goal on the 5 for the Pokes, 3-0 San Francisco. Dorsett trying to get outside. Can't quite do it. And you have to give Eric Johnson, number 24, a pretty good chance of slowing it up as he came up from his corner spot. He made him, there's 24, fighting off the block.
Pretty good. He got across. That's what you have to do. Eric Johnson got across the line of scrimmage, penetrated, forced them deep. They're in their goal line defense. They took out 2 defensive backs. They're in what they call a jumbo defense.
He actually lost a yard thanks to Johnson's play. He's out of Washington State.
Benny, they're vulnerable to the pass right here.
Second and goal from the 6. Straight ahead, trying to pick up the tough yardage. That'll bring the ball back to the 5. Reuben Vaughn was able to make the tackle. He had a bad week last week on the pass rush, but he was able to meet his man Laidlaw head on. Roger Staubach, to give you an idea, last week passed for 269 yards. What makes it interesting, he has passed for over 200 yards in a game 46 times. Only Jim Hart leads him amongst the active quarterbacks. Hart has done it 59 times. So third and goal from the 5. Laidlaw is open, but they go in the middle, no good. And down is Gray and Dupree. He had Dupree open and he fell down.
I think they collided. 49ers dog made Staubach hurry himself. Earlier, Dupree collided with the defensive back, and that threw him off balance.
And Laidlaw had peeled off to the left, and he was all alone, but the primary receiver was Dupree, and down he went. So it's fourth and goal from the 5. Septien will get a hold by Glenn Carano, and he'll spot the ball at the 13-yard line. So it's a 23-yard field goal for Septien. He kicked 3 last week. It's up. It is good. And with 34 seconds left to go in the first quarter, it's somewhat surprising. San Francisco 3 and Dallas 3.
Radio Shack has slashed the price on one of our top-of-the-line stereo systems. Right now, save $310 on this impressive realistic hi-fi. You get this quality AM/FM stereo receiver, a pair of realistic tower speakers, and this precision belt drive turntable, all for only $579. A great entertainment bargain and a beautiful addition to your home. The sale-priced realistic stereo system, just $579, only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
This baby's been from Maine to Malibu, but I don't let her go nowhere without the treatment.
This is no car, this is a legend. And you better believe I give her the treatment.
STP oil treatment. Since 1964, over 500 million cans have been sold. No other brand even comes close. So do what millions do. Give your car the treatment from STP.
This sweetheart gets a treat, and this sweetheart gets the treatment.
Following the game, CBS Sports presents live coverage of the finals of the U.S. Open Tennis Championships. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
So it's 3-3 with 34 seconds to go in the first quarter. And a reminder, the finals U.S. Open Tennis immediately after football. Everett Lloyd versus Austin and McEnroe and Gerolaitis. Tennis coming up after the football game. Rafael Septien ready to kick off in a 3-3 tie. And he'll kick it to James Owens, and the world-class hurdler is off to the races to the 25 and belted there. Aaron Mitchell made a good play to bring him down, or with his speed, he'd have picked up a ton. There's a flag on the play.
You know, Benny, one thing with the new rule that you can't block below the waist, you get a lot of people standing up on these returns, all standing up, afraid to throw a block because it'll be clipping, you see. And here we got a clip. Too many penalties on the kicking game because of that rule change.
George, it looks like the rule book is going to play an even bigger part in the 1979 season than ever before.
Well, I hate to see the officials having to call so many penalties and taking over the game and prolonging the game. It's really hurt the return game, the punt returns and kickoff returns.
Personal foul, clipping, number 58, receiving team.
So San Francisco will be moved back to its own 13-yard line. Gordy Saraceno was guilty of the clip. He's a linebacker in there on special teams duty. First man juggling is Mike Hogan, but he held onto the ball and got out to the 16-yard line. Hogan didn't have too good a grip.
Well, it looks like the 49ers, when they want to run the ball so far, they're using the I formation, whether they line up in it or get into it by motion or shifting.
So it'll be 2nd and 7 on the San Francisco 16. Mike Hogan picked up by San Francisco, and he's going to be a workhorse. And the first quarter has run its course, and it's a battle of field goals at the end of the first quarter. Dallas 3, San Francisco 3.
If we could take you through the plant to show you what is new and let you see what's going on and watch the things we do. If you could see the cars and trucks we're working on for you, you'd say incredible. Ford, that's incredible.
If you knew how much money we're spending every day for factories and people to help us find the way.
If you could see tomorrow the way it looks to us today, you'd say incredible. Ford, that's incredible. Ford, that's incredible.
Introducing the incredible Ford Factory Tour. Come and see the things we're doing to rethink, redesign, reshape the automobile. Incredible things to produce a new generation of more fuel-efficient cars and trucks.
If you could see tomorrow.
How'd you like the tour?
Incredible! Say incredible! Ford, that's incredible!
To take the incredible Ford Factory Tour, write us for information.
Tom Landry, the 5th winningest coach in the history of the NFL. Only the memorable names Hallis, Lambeau, Brown are ahead of him. Then Shula. So it is 2nd and 7 on the 16 for San Francisco. 3-3 start of the second quarter. In motion is O.J. He's got Randy Cross blocking for him, and he is pushed out of bounds at the last minute by Benny Barnes. George Allen, what's a capsule comment on the first quarter?
Well, Benny, the 49ers have outplayed Dallas to date, and yet the score is only 3-3 because of their mistakes.
And the biggest mistake would be the roughing the kicker penalty charge to Eddie Lewis when it appeared as if they were going to move.
No chance to block the ball. Stupid football. You can't win playing that type of football.
Meanwhile, Dallas has had its own share of problems with a clipping penalty, a holding penalty, personal foul. So it's 3-3, just the start of the second quarter. And in a minute, Jerry Seaman will explain the confab. There was a marker down at the 20-yard line. And it would appear to be first to spot the ball and then again San Francisco.
I'd like to say hello to Charlie Waters while we get the chance. Speedy recovery. He's the type of safety I always like to have in my football team. Cliff Harris, Charlie Waters, all pro football players.
Offside, number 50, defense, decline. Personal foul, clipping, number 85, accepted.
So the big penalty, first against D.D. Lewis, was declined, but then the other penalty was against Paul Seal. There's no penalty. No, indeed. If you tune into CBS tonight, anything but. It's pure enjoyment. 60 minutes, all in the family, one day at a time. 2nd and 7. DeBerg on a draw to Mike Hogan. And he is dragged down at the 10-yard line. Martin was there to hit him, and Bob Brunig also came over. So it was 2nd and 13. And they'll move it out to the 10-yard line on 3rd down. And Steve DeBerg with a big call.
Dallas coming in with their nickel personnel, 5 defensive backs, nickel defense.
Third down, 13 to go. The ball on the 10-yard line of San Francisco. Hogan and O.J. Hogan in motion. And O.J. on a draw. And gets across the 15-yard line. When they send Hogan in motion, usually Hegman, the linebacker, picks him up, and that's where they go.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of yardage to try to pick up on a draw, 3rd and 13. You're better off to throw the ball there.
Even on your own 10-yard line?
I think so. Throw a safe pass.
So it'll be 4th and 13 for San Francisco. And it'll be a clutch punt coming up for young Dan Melville, the rookie out of California.
Let's see if we can get his hang time in this punt.
So check now, because it is 3rd and 8. The ball is on the 15-yard line as O.J. moved up and up, and he goes wide out to the left, so Hogan is all alone behind DeBerg. And that's Freddie Solomon, dragged down at the 23-yard line by Aaron Kyle. It would not appear from up here, however, that they made it. It would look like they missed by less than a yard.
Again, another intermediate crossing pattern by 88 Solomon. Just missed the first down. They had a penalty in there. That's why we lost a down.
Right. So they'll measure, but it would appear that they've missed it. Heartbreakingly so as far as San Francisco. Now, Walsh gambled last week.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to gamble again.
And in comes Francis.
No, he's going to punt.
He's going to punt. Here comes Dan Melville in to kick.
They were thinking about it.
So with 4th down, Dan Melville will try and root it out. And Wade Manning going deep on the Dallas 40-yard line. So it is 4th and less than a yard. George, how do you train a team not to jump offside?
We lost a game to Dallas 14-7. Wysocki was offside twice in a situation like this. You don't move until the ball moves.
So Melville, with plenty of time, arrows one to the 40-yard line. Backing up is Manning at the 35. And Manning is slowed up, and down he goes. The man who slowed him up was Gordy Saraceno, and the hit was made by Francis along with Schumann.
Good
so the Cowboys,
good coverage
on the end of a good punting coverage, will put it in play on their own 34.
Honey, is this homeowner's insurance high?
I don't know. Think it's too much?
How would I know?
Compare with Allstate.
Compare?
Bring in your policy and compare rates. If you have a good deal, we'll tell you. But for many, chances are we've got a better deal.
We've got a better deal.
Allstate might save you some money, but you'll never know until you bring in your policy and compare.
Oh, that's a good deal.
When you want to save on homeowners insurance, Allstate wants to help.
That's a promise from us, the good hands people.
To drive through dirt and dust, good filters are a must. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Trust those filters by AC.
We're glad I installed new AC air and oil filters before we get into this mess.
I bet AC helps protect those babies too, huh, Dad?
If they're smart.
George!
Oh!
So when you gotta go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Trust those filters by AC.
Thanks, AC.
Trust those filters by AC.
We've got 13 minutes and 33 seconds to the half. A lot of threes. It's Dallas 3, San Francisco 3, and the Cowboys will put it in play 1st and 10 from their own 34.
Benny, Dallas is a good first down team. We felt we had to stop them on first down. We had to stop their passing game, their play-action passes, and hold their runs to a minimum of 3.5.
Well, we'll see what they do first down on their own 34. In motion is Drew Pearson. Stumbling is Newhouse, and so Staubach recovered the fumble, and down he goes. So Robert Newhouse having trouble with the handoff. Busted play.
Well, he slipped on the infield. Stumbling resulted in bad timing. They're very fortunate to have the football.
Ball bouncing back to Roger, as you see, and all he could do is get it back to the line of scrimmage. So it is 2nd and 10 on the Pokes 34. Tony Hill is wide left, Pearson wide right. Dupree, the tight end, on the right side. Dorsett, fumble. San Francisco recovers it. Danny Buns, the middle linebacker, recovers the ball and moves it inside the Dallas 30-yard line. Wow. Danny Buns, 2 years out of Cal State in Long Beach, on that recovered fumble.
Well, it looked like they're trying to run a fast trap. Nobody touched them.
Except Jimmy Webb. And Webb made the hit that caused the fumble. Yeah. In fact, it's not Webb. It is Ted Vincent.
Vincent, 75.
Oh, a big break for San Francisco. They have it now on the Cowboy 28 line. 1st and 10. Phil Francis is the setback behind DeBerg. DeBerg leading his man Francis, who makes the reception inside the 15-yard line. Phil Francis with Cliff Harris bringing him down.
When you get a break like this, you got to take advantage of it. Not by 3 points, but by 7 points. DeBerg did a good job on that. He read the defense. He saw Francis open and drilled it in there. Francis caught that ball well. You can tell he's a good receiver the way he put the ball away.
He was the #1 pass receiver in the nation last year, even though he hurt his ankle and missed 4 games. In motion is Schumann. Here comes Mike Hogan. Inside a block by Randy Cross, and he got to the 11-yard line. Coming up was Cliff Harris along with Mike Hegman to bring him down, and Larry Cole playing on the left side, stacked up things.
Dallas is tough to score on in here. Here comes McAfee in. He's a better blocker than the other tight ends.
It's a big surprise to see McAfee in there at all. Last week, he went off the field on a stretcher, turned up with a bad ankle, but he's in there, and the ball brought to the 19.
Legal motion, number 84, offense.
If you remember the start of the play, Mike Schumann, a wide receiver, was in motion, and evidently he got too far away from the count and broke towards the line of scrimmage. So that slows things up a little bit. It is 1st and 15, and the ball is spotted on the Dallas 18-yard line. Schumann is wide right, and McAfee, the tight end, on the left side. Here comes O.J., and there goes O.J., stacked up just about at the line of scrimmage, and a good play by number 58, Mike Hegman, 4 years out of Tennessee State.
Yeah, Benny, as we said at the top of the show, they're going to have a lot of difficulty running against this Dallas defense.
Mike Hegman went to school with Cleveland Elam and Too Tall Jones at Tennessee State. You might remember he's the man who stole the ball from Terry Bradshaw in Super Bowl 13, and he's playing for Thomas Henderson today. The running backs are Lenville Elliott and Mike Hogan. It is a 2nd and 16 on the 19-yard line. Over the middle and deflected and through the hands of Lenville Elliott. Cliff Harris. And there's Henderson back in there now, commiserating with Hegman.
Well, they had their prevent defense 4 underneath. Stops that short passing game. That ball was
there's Thomas Henderson.
Very easily could have been intercepted.
And you remember that 68-yard touchdown interception he turned in against the Rams last year in the playoffs. He came close to picking one off now. It is 3rd and 16. From the Dallas 19-yard line, we'll see DeBerg's call. Freddie Solomon wide left. Hogan on a wing, and Schumann is wide right. Lenville Elliott, the only running back. And Hogan, with the pass to Elliott, and Thomas Henderson just slings him out of bounds. and slings him out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. He might have gained a yard for all of that.
See, Vinny, that pass is all right if you have 3 or 4 yards to go, but when you have third down and long yardage, you're not going to pick up that much yards unless you have a missed tackle.
Well, George, you said on that fumble recovery, this was the time to cash it in, not for a field goal, but for a touchdown, and they couldn't do it.
That's what happened to the 49ers last week. They kicked 3 field goals, got ahead 9-3, 9-7.
The spot will be at the 25-yard line, so it's a 35-yard field goal for Ray Wershing. He's pretty accurate from this, anywhere from the 30 in. He's up and way wide. Out of a hole by Joe Montana. He wasn't even in the county.
Now they didn't get anything out of it.
So San Francisco blows a golden opportunity, and we're still 3-3.
When you're a lifeguard, you practice all you can, because saving a few seconds may save a few lives. But now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
These are the blueprints for an automotive revolution. This is the J.C. Penney shock absorber. Its unique patented metering pin adjusts the ride automatically while you drive. So you get the control of heavy-duty shocks when the going gets rough, and the ride of original equipment shocks when the road is smooth. And if it ever fails, return it. We'll replace it free for as long as you own your car. The J.C. Penney shock absorber. It's the last shock absorber your car will ever need.
Following the game, CBS Sports presents live coverage of the finals of the U.S. Open Tennis Championships. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
Don't forget, we'll be joining the U.S. Open Tennis Championship, which is in progress. In time, we hope to see Everett Lloyd versus Austin McEnroe versus Geralaitis. That'll be coming up immediately after football. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys on their own 20-yard line. So the Cowboy defense stiffened, and now Staubach back at the wheel. Robert Newhouse is in there with Tony Dorsett. In motion is Jay Saldi, and here comes Newhouse. And Newhouse gets it out to short of the 25-yard line. A little surprised to see Newhouse because he has a strained tendon of the ankle.
Yeah, I like Newhouse. We really respected him. He's a hard running back. He doesn't lose yardage very much. He's tough to tackle.
And he's committed only 5 fumbles in 3 years, over 436 carries.
Now, the 49ers went to an even defense. They're really an odd defense. When they go even, they're thinking pass to rush the quarterback.
2nd and 6 on the 24 for Dallas. All tied up 3-3. Staubach pitching back to Dorsett. But they stack him up pretty well as he got out across the 25-yard line. Tony Dungy helping him up. But at the bottom of the pile was Archie Reese. He was the man who stacked up the play.
That toss was just a little bit behind Tony. He had to wait for it. Forced him to lose a step.
So here's the big one. 3rd and 3 for Staubach on his own 27-yard line. Pearson is left. Dupree, the tight end, on the left side. Tony Hill wide right. Staubach going to Drew Pearson, and he takes it away from Gerard Williams and goes out of bounds at the 40, and it'll be a 1st down for Dallas.
They brought Gerard Williams in here, number 29. They ran him in 240s. His first time was 4.6. His next time was 4.55 on grass. He's been here about a day and a half, and they started him.
How can he play, George? You just joined the team.
It's tough, real tough.
Tough got to be an understatement. So the ball spotted at the 39-yard line, and look at Rogers, 6 for 10 for 100 yards. DeBerg is 7 for 10 for 76 yards. Staubach going to the big man, Billy Joe Dupree, and he finally goes out of bounds after Cornelius hit him at the ankles, but he got
so far.
With 9:38 to go to the half, Dallas 3, San Francisco 3. The series stands Dallas 6-4 with one tie, and the Cowboys have won 3 straight.
Illegal motion, number 89, offense.
So the tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, guilty of the illegal motion. Dallas has won 5 of the last 6. The last time they met in '77, they played here, and Dallas won 42-35. So it is 1st and 15 on the Dallas 34-yard line. Staubach to Dorsett. And Ted Vincent drags him down from behind as he crosses the 40-yard line.
I like that call. 1st and 15, they lined up what we call a brown set, and they ran a full draw, ran a late.
To give you folks an idea what's going on with the shuffling of San Francisco personnel, Ted Vincent has worn 3 different jerseys. First, he was number 66. Then he was number 79. Then they got rid of Ed Gallagher, number 75, and they gave Vincent that number. And so there he is. Boy, there's a lot of coming and going up here. 2nd and 9 on the Dallas 40. Dorsett going wide. Gets away from Cornelius, and Scott Hilton knocks him out of bounds, and there's a flag on the play.
Another flag. When we get our tabulation on penalties this first half, it's going to be very interesting. That's what Dorsett does well.
Personal foul, a clip is the preliminary signal. So Dorsett trying to go wide. Look at that 22. That brings back memories.
Every time I see that number, I think of Bob Hayes. When we played Dallas, one of our top priorities was put 2 men on Bob Hayes. What a receiver he was. You know, Dorsett bounced outside, and his speed made that. It wasn't the blocking. He just did that all on his own. Sure speed.
By the way, we talked so much about Bob Hayes, and you were looking at Wade Manning, the rookie out of Ohio State. The penalty being called against Dallas. Back to the 25.
Personal foul, illegal crackback, number 88, offense.
So they had Drew Pearson, the wide receiver, and then he came back with the illegal crackback. And look at the penalties.
Look at those penalties.
And we still have 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. So the rule book is really keeping San Francisco in the ball game. 2nd and 24 from the Cowboy 25. Hill is right, Pearson is left. The running backs are Dorsett and Newhouse. Staubach with all kinds of time, and he hits Tony Hill across the 40-yard line to the 42. And Cedric Hartman might as well have been in Oakland as far as the San Francisco pass rush.
They went to a defense that I don't believe in. It's all right in certain situations. A 3-man rush. Roger can eat his lunch. He's got all day to throw the ball.
And he actually ate San Francisco's lunch on that play. So there is Cedric Hartman. He is supposed to be the 1-man pass rush, but coming from the outside, he was a long-distance phone call away from Staubach. 3rd and 8 from the Cowboy 41, out of the shotgun. Over the middle, and a completion across midfield. That's Willie Harper, and a man at the bottom would be Preston Pearson coming out of the shotgun to handle it. And they just pick up the first down when they need it.
Good. This is a good sound pass. We talked about getting the first down on a stop pattern. Easy to throw, difficult to defense. Threw the ball kind of low. It's difficult to break it up.
1st and 10 on the San Francisco 48-yard line. Staubach is 8 for 12, 128 yards. But it's 3-3 with 7:24 to the half. Both backs flaring out, and the pass is to Newhouse. Scott Hilton has him by a leg and brings him down at the 45-yard line. So Scott Hilton, a rookie who did not play, in fact, he didn't go to college. He played semi-pro football in Pennsylvania. He was the last cut of the Philadelphia Eagles last year. And like so many defensive people, picked up by San Francisco.
He's a big, strong guy, a little bit inactive, has a little trouble covering on passes.
So it is 2nd and 7 on the San Francisco 45-yard line. Play action to Dorsett. And juggled and broken up. Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
Tony Dungy had it go off his fingers. Boy, he is gone for a touchdown on the pass intended for Dupree.
49ers are dogging here. The dog puts Tony Dungy in position to intercept that. That could have been a score. Right in his hands.
It went through Dungy's hands and hit the startled Dupree on the left shoulder. And Dungy knows, you know, he led Pittsburgh with 6 interceptions. He was second in the AFC last year.
Too easy.
That story tells it all.
You can't miss those.
So it is 3rd and 7 from the 45. Boy, they let Dallas off the hook, so they load up the shotgun. No good, intended for Drew Pearson, and Gerard Williams will be penalized for giving him a push.
I think it's a good call. If we can see that again, Gerard had his hands on his back. It was a good call. The official was right on the ball there.
Yeah, it looked like he gave him a shove. Right there.
You see that?
Kind of blurred.
You can't have contact until he gets that ball. It's a very close call. You could call it one way or the other, but the official did the right thing.
Pass interference, number 29, defense.
So Gerard Williams, who just joined the ball club 2 days ago and is playing in there on the right side, is guilty of the infraction. And it is 1st and 10, the ball on the San Francisco 30. 6:27 to go to the half, all locked up 3-3. Hill is left, Drew Pearson wide right. Then you have Dorsett and Newhouse out of the eye, but now they shift. Staubach on a quick to Dupree, and he can't hold it. He got his left hand on it, but that's all.
Benny, that pattern, that wide drag, that tight end in the flat or down 12 or 14 is open all day. They're not covering that. And the other thing that Rodgers doing that's very smart is they're throwing against that odd man front, which does not have a good pass rush.
Six minutes, 23 seconds to the half. It is 2nd and 10 on the 30-yard line. Staubach is 9 for 15, 131 yards. Pitching back to Dorsett. And Dorsett is off to the races on a gamble. They had a safety blitz. Tim Gray was coming in, and when Gray wasn't able to get him, the door was open on that side.
Another smart call. They lined up in the eye and ran the ball. 49ers were expecting pass. They were dogging. Almost broke it for big yardage. They've got the 49ers on defense.
3rd and 4. The ball on the San Francisco 24, and Tampa Bay revitalized.
Came back.
Leading Baltimore 26-23. 3rd and 4 on the 24 for Staubach. Staubach on a turn by Hill, and he made the reception. San Francisco feeling he was out of bounds, but he made the catch. Take a look up front what's going on now as you see Jimmy Webb tangling with center John Fitzgerald. And Staubach getting time. And there might be a penalty on the call, a holding penalty against Dallas.
You know, we talked at the top of the show that would be a passing ball game, and this is what it's developed. Very little running to date.
Holding, number 33, offense.
So the penalty against Tony Dorsett. So Bill Walsh gets an 11th hour reprieve. The ball is spotted back on the San Francisco 34-yard line. It is 3rd and 14 on the San Francisco 34. Drew Pearson left, Tony Hill right. Staubach out of the shotgun. That means Preston Pearson is in there. Preston staying in to block. And Staubach going to Dorsett. And Dorsett is slung down by Willie Harper. Willie Harper making a big play to tie him up.
Right. Well, again, Roger has all day to throw. Look at 3-man rush. You got 5 on 3. Look at 2 on 1 over there. He just had so much time he dumped it off to the short man, to Dorsett.
You know, we should put a spotlight for the moment on number 68 of Dallas, Herbert Scott, because Scotty threw a good block to give Staubach a little more time, and what a blocker he is.
Let's see the snap. Let's see the snap and the hold on this play.
The hold will be at the 41-yard line by Carano. Septien's kick is going to be barely good, but good enough. Rafael Septien kicks one 51 yards, and Dallas leads 6-3. Que hombre.
You dance on a river of wood, and the spinning shapes in the cold, dark water are your only bridge home. So you keep on dancing until the last log is in place and you can head for Miller time. Time for the best-tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, we've got the beer, Miller beer. If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Now Ford, the long-distance champ, has the longest range of any pickup in America and the best pickup MPG. With a standard 19-gallon tank plus optional tank, you've got a 39-gallon capacity, which gives it an estimated range with optional overdrive transmission of 709 miles based on EPA rating. The estimated highway range is 946 miles. 1/3 the length of America on one fill-up. Tough Ford pickups, the longest range of any pickup in America. Ford, the long-distance champ.
Rafael Septien, who stands 5'9" and 171, has just kicked a 51-yard field goal, his second field goal of the day and the longest of his career. Now in kicking off, Glenville Elliott will let it go out of bounds, so of course he'll be penalized 5 and he'll kick from the 30. We should mention something about Septien. He replaced Efren Herrera, and he turned in to be the number 2 scorer in the NFC. His longest field goal had been 48 yards against Baltimore, but 51 today. 3 times in his career, he's kicked 3 field goals against Washington, Miami, and St. Louis, and he has 2 so far today.
When I was with the Rams, unlike many kickers, Rafael is a good athlete. He takes care of himself. He works out with the weights. He stretches. He's a very good athlete, and he's strong. And he's gradually developing into a longer kicker. He wasn't a real long-range kicker when he was with the Rams, and that's one of the reasons why Frank Corral made the ball club over Rafael. But he's developed into a tremendous kicker, and the Cowboys were very smart to pick him up.
Every time you see Rafael Septien, you know Ben Agajanian is not too far behind. Well, he'll be teeing it up from the 30 now. This time he'll knuckle one down the middle, and is picked up by Phil Francis. He's to the 35, and the running back is across the 40 to the 42-yard line. So they kicked it to a man who's accustomed to handling the ball, and San Francisco, in good field position, will start 1st and 10 on their own 42. What about that kick, George?
Well, that was a poor kick. He kicked a line drive to the front man, and now this gives the 49ers field position. I think they're going to have to throw the ball, do the things they do well, the short passing game, intermediate game, and get down there and get on the board.
Nothing like telling the world how good he is and then having stub one. 1st and 10. They'll spot it on the San Francisco 43, and O.J. is eaten up. D.D. Lewis came up to hammer him, and he never had a chance. You talk about being naked unto the world. He never got started.
The way D.D. Lewis came across in that, it was almost like a dog.
A player hurt, and it will be Mike Hogan, and they can certainly ill afford to lose Hogan for any amount of time. Hogan down with a knee, evidently, at the 42-yard line. So Mike Hogan, formerly with the Eagles, and injured on the play. Wilbur Jackson of San Francisco has a pinched nerve in his neck. Paul Hofer has a hamstring.
Yeah.
So Bill Walsh a little short on talent as he talks to Paul Seal. 4:17 to the half, 6-3 Dallas.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the toughest Steeler of them all?
When it starts to rain, the Steelers start to bite and hold. Yeah, they do.
Uniroyal presents the Steeler Radio. It's built tough with 2 steel belts, and it's tough to beat when you look at its price.
You want to see a cowboy beat a Steeler?
The Uniroyal Steeler. You want a tough tire at a price that's fair? You want Uniroyal there.
One thing I'll never compromise on, my tools. I go for the best, like this, or these. Yeah, Levi's blue jeans are tools. They fit your body like a good hammer fits your hand, nice and comfortable. And this Levi's denim is as tough as nails, a real value for the buck. Tell you, I wouldn't wear anything less than Levi's blue jeans, but then I don't skimp on tools.
Barriers are the essence of sport. For some to go further, for others to go higher, for this vehicle to break the sound barrier. Ken Squire inviting you to join us for Project SOS, the speed of sound, on CBS next Saturday.
A reminder, stuntman Stan Barrett will attempt to break the sound barrier in his rocket-powered vehicle. It'll be aired on tape. That'll be Project SOS, the speed of sound, next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, Wilbur Jackson, with a pinched nerve in his neck, is in there for the hobbled Mike Hogan. Jackson, a good blocking back, so we'll see if he can toss one for O.J. 2nd and 15 from the 38, and DeBerg going to the air. And it's to Wilbur Jackson coming out of the backfield, and he runs for the first down.
All right, the Cowboys were in a 34 defense, 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers. This is a underneath pattern to Wilbur Jackson. Picked up a first down.
He just ran over Cliff Harris, and that's pretty high-priced area to do that.
Randy White, no better football player in the Cowboys than this guy. Every week he plays a good ball game. Does everything. Look at him. Look at the strength he has. Runs right over over Fornhorst, number 71.
So that extra burst by Wilbur Jackson picked up the first down as San Francisco moves the ball into Dallas territory in a battle of field goals. Surprisingly enough, it is Dallas 6, San Francisco 3, and if you joined us late, the rule book has slowed up the Cowboys considerably, over 60 yards in penalties. DeBerg 8 for 11 and 90 yards. He had a pretty good day last week against Minnesota. 1st and 10 on the 47 of Dallas. O.J. trying to get outside. He got a good block from John Ayers, number 68. And John Ayers went to West Texas, and he's the man who made the play go.
Well, here's the Cowboys' famous flex defense. They pitched the ball to O.J. He got good blocking, cut back, broke a tackle.
John Ayers threw that key block on Aaron Kyle, and that opened up the avenue for O.J. So it is 2nd and 3. The ball just shy of the Dallas 40-yard line. Wilbur Jackson fighting his way in the marketplace down there. Be close for a first down.
What the 49ers are doing, they're making a lot of yardage from the 20 to the 20. They have trouble when they get down into scoring territory to put any points on the board.
George, Tom Landry does not communicate upstairs. Is he an island unto himself down there?
No, he has communication, but on that sheet, he has all the situations and the plays he'd like to call. First choice, second choice, third choice.
O.J. has rushed, as you see, 8 times for 26 yards. 3rd and 1 from the Cowboy 38. O.J. on a play-action fake. And DeBerg deep. He's got Solomon. Solomon inside the 5-yard line. Brought down by Benny Barnes. And the play-action fake to O.J. did it.
Well, now this is an excellent call. They faked the run from the eye. Solomon lined up in a wing. He got behind the secondary. The secondary was fooled by the fake. Almost scored.
A 2-minute warning, and Candlestick on a little while. Dallas 6, San Francisco 3, and on the move. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5 when we come back.
It's no secret that quality mechanics rely on quality parts. So when you see this sign in garages and service stations, you know the mechanics who work there care. Care enough about you to rely on Napa parts. Lots of Napa parts are better than your car's original parts. So for parts and service you can depend on, look for this Napa sign and the Napa mechanic. He cares.
Napa. We help keep America moving.
I can tell by the happy mood you're in, by that ever-widening grin. You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
At Dean Witter, your investment program is designed around you and no one else, so you can't help smiling when you hear from us.
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter. You look like...
I have it.
It is first and goal for San Francisco on the Dallas 5, thanks to that big pass to Freddie Solomon.
Then for the 49ers to get back in this ball game, they got to score a touchdown.
DeBerg has O.J. Simpson and Wilbur Jackson behind DeBerg. In motion is Schumann. And it'll be Jackson, and he is belted.
2 tight ends. I don't know whether they can run it in. I think they're going to have to throw to get it in.
By the way, in seeing Wilbur Jackson handle the ball, Mike Hogan suffered a dislocated left shoulder, and they do not expect him back.
That's a tough blow. He's been doing a good job for him.
So it will be second and goal from the 6 as Jackson lost a yard. Six to 3 Dallas. We have a minute 23 to go to the half. In motion is Brewer. Play action fake to O.J. Pass to Brewer. And he gets back to the 5-yard line. So much ado about nothing. Randy Hughes bringing him down.
No chance on it. It's a play action. Hitting the first man in the flat. Dallas played it perfectly.
So it was first and goal on the 5, second and goal on the 6. Now it's third and goal on the 5, and San Francisco taking a timeout. There are plenty of timeouts left. They will have 2 after this one. A minute and 5 seconds. And, Coach, what are they studying now?
Well, you have 2 or 3 options that you've been working on all week against the defense that you anticipate. They have to throw the football. There's no sense in going play action. It's third and 5. You aren't going to fool anybody. I would think the play where DeBerg is rolling out, strong or weak, left or right, to get away from the rush.
An interesting note, Steve DeBerg was the 16th quarterback chosen in the '77 draft and was subsequently cut by the Dallas Cowboys. He was the last Cowboy cut. And now here he is with San Francisco trying to knock off Dallas. It is third and goal from the 5. We have a minute and 5 seconds to the half. 6 to 3 in favor of Dallas, and that's how it looks if you're down there with the officials checking in on the goal line.
A delayed pattern is pretty effective in here, Vinny, where the tight end blocks. They have a tendency to lose them in the backwash.
Jackson and O.J., and they have McAfee on the right side and Seal on the left with the 2 tight ends. O.J. short of the goal line. And you can see McAfee showing that it's about 1.5 feet from the goal line. Harvey Martin, and the crowd is chanting, "Goal for the touchdown." What about it, George?
Well, they ought to take time out, and they're wasting a lot of time right here.
There's 40 seconds left to the half.
He doesn't know what to do. He's looking over here.
It is fourth and goal with 36 seconds, 35, and now Walsh is saying call time. And with 32 seconds to the half, San Francisco calls time. They have 1 more remaining.
What I like to do in that situation is get to 3 points, Vinny. However, if they go for a touchdown, nothing wrong with it. They're having trouble scoring. It gives your offensive platoon a little confidence.
There is always next week. And here they are in regional games: Detroit and the Jets, Philadelphia, New Orleans, Tampa Bay and Green Bay, and San Francisco and the Rams. And the doubleheader national game, Chicago versus Dallas. Consult your local listings for the games and times in your area. Some cities will only see a single game due to the NFL blackout policy. This is Vin Scully along with George Allen with 32 seconds to go to the half. It is 6 to 3 Dallas. The difference, a 51-yard field goal by Rafael Septien, the longest of his career. But now, with 32 seconds to the half, here's the play, and they're going for it. Fourth and goal. It's O.J. He's in there.
Good call.
O.J. Simpson, who has not carried the ball since November 5th of last year against Atlanta. He missed the final 6 of 78. He did not carry the ball once during the preseason, and he brings it over for a touchdown behind the blocking of Ron Singleton and John Ayers.
High formation, he ran pretty good there. Threw himself in the air, over the top. That's tough to stop.
And it is now 9-6 San Francisco, and Ray Wersching trying to make it 10. Montana holding. The spot, the kick, it's good. And with 29 seconds to the half, this fired-up crowd has seemed to have ignited the spirit of the 49ers. And we'll take another look at poetry in motion by the name of O.J. Simpson, the second greatest running back behind Jim Brown. And here he goes.
See him lunge right there? He had a pretty good haul. When they lined up in an eye, I knew right away they're going to run the football. Give the ball to your best back and let him go over the top.
So no matter what happens today here in Candlestick, the crowd estimated at about 58,000. They got the thrill that they were almost afraid to hope for. They not only saw O.J. Simpson play, they saw him score on a 4th and goal from inside the 1. But you still get the feeling, Coach, that Dallas can just go to the whip and make it smooth.
I think they can go down the field throwing the football. I think they can throw short and they can throw long.
Of course, they only have 29 seconds to the half. The deep men are Ron Springs and Wade Manning. Do you think he'll kick it deep, or do you think he'll kick a knuckleball?
He should squib it down there so they can't return it.
Well, we'll see what Ray Wersching does. He's going to roll it, and it is going to be picked up by Huther, a linebacker, and Huther gets it across the 40-yard line, and down he goes. That would be Bruce Huther out of New Hampshire, and according to the clock, 23 seconds to the half. All right, is Staubach going to gamble and go for the touchdown?
I'd go with a shotgun and go deep. You got time for a field goal here, even a touchdown. They got good field position, 43-yard line.
By the way, Bruce Huther is another man who knows the territory. He did some graduate work at the University of California. So 1st and 10 from the 43 of Dallas, and out of the Staubach, out of the shotgun, 23 seconds to the half. Preston Pearson staying in to block. Staubach deep for Tony Hill, no good. Cornelius over there with Johnson breaking it up as Tony Hill was sandwiched.
Let's watch Tony Hill's pass pattern. He avoids the front man, bends it out. They're trying to get a sideline pattern and stop the clock. Good coverage, front and back, no chance.
Some of the fellas kind of coming home. Tony Hill went to Stanford. Pat Donovan went to Stanford. Tight end Doug Cosby went to Santa Clara. They're all up front. In the backfield, Scott Laylord went to Stanford. So it is 2nd and 10 from the 43. 18 seconds to the half. Staubach setting up a screen to Preston Pearson. And Cornelius upended him. Time running away with 7 seconds to the half and counting. And timeout with 6 seconds left.
You know, Benny, I was just going to say a screen is a good call here. And that's what Roger did. Good, real good call. They had a 4-man rush. They were coming in pretty good.
So Tom Landry, with 6 seconds to the half, and San Francisco leading Dallas. Timeouts remaining. Dallas has 2 left, and San Francisco 1. Remember, San Francisco burned up its 2nd before Bill Walsh decided to go 4th and goal from the 1, and O.J. punched it over.
Here's what they're thinking. Do we go for the bomb, or do we try for a sideline and get close enough for a field goal? I'd go for the bomb. Maybe get an interference call, get a batted ball, tip ball.
When we have playback in, it'll be 1st and 10 on the San Francisco 45-yard line. Some numbers. Staubach is 11 for 18 and 143 yards. The biggest receiver as far as yardage, Tony Hill, has caught 2 for 45 yards. The running game has not done much. Dorsett, 10 carries for only 16 yards. Newhouse, 2 carries for 4. Laidlaw, 3 carries for 7.
Here's where your defense has to be deep. You can't let them get behind you. Get an easy score. Line up deep.
10 from the San Francisco 45. 6 seconds left to the half. Staubach going to crank it up. And he got his man, but it's too late. Drew Pearson asking for time, but it's history. It was too late. And so it is somewhat of a shock as it reverberates around the league, even if it's only for a few minutes. San Francisco, the worst team in football last year, leading Dallas 10-6 at the halftime.
We got a heck of a game, Benny. I think it's going to be a good second half also.
There was a quote in the paper here which would make people around the league double up with laughter. The quote was from Tom Landry, and it was, quote, "This game is pretty much of a toss-up." And I tell you what, there are a lot of people who couldn't take that statement no way. But look at the halftime numbers.
He was referring to the toss of the coin.
San Francisco leading Dallas 10-6.
Now, the best Zenith ever. System 3 is even better. Even better. The sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. An all-modular chassis designed to be the most reliable Zenith ever. Most reliable. And now, computer space command remote control. 105 channels. Zenith's most advanced. Most advanced. Zenith System 3. System 3. Now, even better.
A storm-damaged house, and a lady and her plants have a problem.
Everything will be all right. I hate lying to him, but I haven't got the money to fix this. And you know how long the insurance could take.
Not with Allstate. Allstate has more professional claims specialists than any other company to make sure your settlement is fair and fast.
I'll call your contractor.
That didn't take long.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
Great news for your home at Sears Super Homeowner Sale.
Super values on many items like these. 20-inch designer bathroom vanities with tops. Now $59.99 each. Save $25. Their matching wall cabinets are each $39.99. Save $10.
Get this versatile Sears Best 1-horsepower Craftsman sprayer compressor and save $140. Comes with spray gun, air hose, and air chuck.
Super savings right now at Sears.
Where America shops for value.
Lightning action in the ring, on the rink, and on the road. Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, the CBS Sports Spectacular takes you to Houston for the lightweight battle between Howard Davis and Termite Watkins. Then see top American skaters vie for top national honors as we take you to Fort Worth for the finals in the U.S. Roller Skating Championships. And finally to Monza, Italy, as the greatest Formula One drivers in the world go wheel to wheel in the Italian Grand Prix. A spectacular Saturday of sport. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Back live in New York, I'm Brent Musburger with Jane Kennedy and Irv Cross. Baltimore and Tampa Bay have just gone to overtime, but we have received several telephone calls from women down in Texas who want to know what's going on at the U.S. Open. Let's take you live right now. Tracy Austin, at the age of 16, can become the youngest champion in the history of the U.S. Open. We're going to get everybody up to date now on the football scores. They'll have a commercial to tennis. We'll take you back for the next game. Jane, let us now start with Seattle and Miami. 9-3, the Dolphins lead it.
3-yard pass. Bob Greasy to Nate Moore. The kick was missed, and then Von Schaman came back later with a 29-yard field goal.
And look at what San Diego is doing, an offensive explosion for the Chargers.
Sprouts with 2 touchdown passes, and Woodrow Lowe a 31-yard run with the interception.
The Cleveland Browns, a winner last week in overtime, doing it again against Kansas City.
Brian Fife with 2 touchdown passes, one to Reggie Rucker, the other Ozzie Newsome.
This is live. In overtime, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have just won the game on a field goal in overtime, 29-26. Tampa Bay now 2-0 on the season, downs the Baltimore Colts in overtime on O'Donoghue's field goal. So the Buccaneers jump off to a quick start in the NFC Central, and again the score, Cleveland 17, Kansas City nothing. That game is at the half. And, of course, the contest you're watching, how about O.J. Simpson? Touchdown, 10-6. Even if you're the greatest of Cowboy fans, you got to pull for the juice this year to come back and close out his career in glorious fashion. All right, the final you just saw live, 29-26. Tampa Bay downs the Baltimore Colts. Elsewhere in the league, Buffalo 51, Cincinnati 24.
Featuring 4 second-half touchdowns for running back Roland Hooks.
Another final, 38-7, the world champion Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh dominated this game offensively. Pastorini injured right arm, but the x-rays showed negative.
And Jane, look at what Steve Grogan did. 56 points for the Patriots. How many touchdown passes did he wind up with?
We've been having fun with this one. 5 touchdown passes for Grogan. 3 to Harold Jackson, 2 to Stanley Morgan, and 1 touchdown pass by the substitute quarterback Tom Owen to Tom Westbrook.
And Jane, they had 597 total yards offense. This was the game. Those of you who are watching Dallas, San Francisco, you saw the end of it in our pregame show. 27-24, Mosley got a second chance and cashed in the field goal. 28-19, Green Bay downs New Orleans.
All 28 points for Green Bay were scored in the second half, led by Steve Atkins. 12 carries for 110 yards.
And next Sunday, the doubleheader game on CBS. The unbeaten Chicago Bears come to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. What an explosion for Walter Payton today.
Walter Payton with 23 for 182 yards. That's 2 touchdowns.
And the team that last week pressured the Cowboys snapped back and beat the New York Giants 27-14 was the final there. And the NFL, I'm sorry, Jane, what did you start saying about the rookie O.J.?
I was just going to say that he's done it again. He's got another 100-yard game, 32 carries for 111 yards.
Oh, he is some player. The NFL Today will continue on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
What happened to Freddie Prinze? Was it too much too soon or too little too long? Can you hear the laughter? The CBS Tuesday night movie at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Perfect shot.
Another brilliant shot. By Chris, they were hitting the ball really hard that time. Instead of having the service clock.
It's 40 love, isn't it?
The record on some of these shots. They're very, very hard.
Those of you who've been watching that game, Tampa Bay defeat Baltimore, welcome to the finals. Women.
What an alignment.
About a minute, I'm told.
Yeah, I don't hear the tennis. There we are. What is it now? Is it 5? Yeah.
5-3.
It's 2-5? 5-3. It's 2. Let's go back to the U.S. Open. Tracy Austin serving for the match at 5-3. We're going to go back to start the second half. The remote will tell you how Tracy makes out in this second set. And then, of course, you will see Gary Ulitis and McEnroe for the men's final. But right now, let's send you back to Candlestick in San Francisco.
Well, with San Francisco leading Dallas 10-6, you would say that Dallas was sluggish, perhaps taking the game lightly. Now it becomes a question of, can San Francisco hold on?
I think Dallas is fighting for their lives right now. The 49ers are playing good football. If the 49ers can mount a pass rush and not get hurt too much dogging, because with 3 and 4 men, they're not getting enough rush. If they can mount a pass rush, I think they can go right down to the wire in this ball game.
How can you mount a pass rush? In other words, you look at San Francisco and it's non-existent up to the point.
Roger has all day to throw.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes, Benny, it's a disadvantage if you have too much time to throw. If Roger hits the intermediate passes, 16, 14-yard passes, I think he can go down the field.
And, of course, the big story right now, for the first time since October 22nd of 1978 against Atlanta, O.J. Simpson scored a touchdown. We'll wait for the second half.
Okay.
Here's to good friends.
A toast. Here's to a vanishing breed. Bill Evans, bachelor.
End of a perfectly good ladies' man.
To Bill Evans, a free man.
13 more hours.
And you want the taste of a truly great American beer. Tonight, let it be low and brow.
Speech! 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 Come on, you guys.
You're beautiful.
It's official. Ford's answer to rebates, the largest incentives ever available to its dealers. The biggest clearance offer in Ford history just got bigger. See your Ford dealer and discover how many hundreds of dollars you can save on new trimmer LTDs, Mustang pace car replicas, elegant Thunderbirds, top V8 pickups, vans, Broncos, Rancheros. Compare the total Ford deal with any other. You may well find it's the best value overall.
Quarterbacks go to Henry for 6 points. That should work. Hi, I'm Drew Pearson of the Dallas Cowboys. And I can tell teenagers a lot of things about football on a chalkboard. But you don't really learn the game until you're on the field with the ball in your hands, making your own decisions. That's what growing up is all about, too. Learning to make decisions about everything in your life. But some things are more important than others. If you're a teenager, you'll be making a decision soon on whether or not you want to drink. We have an alcohol abuse problem among many young people today, and the consequences are a lot more serious than fumbling a football. Make the wrong decision about drinking, and you may find yourself out of the game. There's a booklet called Winning Decisions that can help every teenager make the right decision. To get your free copy, write Education Commission of the States, Box 687, Denver, Colorado, 80201. That's ECS, Box 687, Denver. Be a winner.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Friends, rather than overwhelm you with a lot of somewhat meaningless statistics, we thought we would put the spotlight on what we felt were big plays in the first half. And, George, here are a couple of them.
Well, the first thing, number 22, Eddie Lewis, to run into the punter, Danny White, on 4th and 9 was a stupid play. You just can't make a play like that at any level of competition.
And it gave Dallas possession again, and Rafael Septien finally cashed it in with a field goal to get the game even. Then in the second quarter, Ted Vincent, a defensive lineman formerly with Cincinnati, laid a good hit into Tony Dorsett, who fumbled, and middle linebacker Dan Buns recovered Dorsett's fumble. That was a big play.
And in the second quarter, Gerard Williams was called for pushing Preston Pearson on 3rd and 7, gave him a first down.
And that led to the longest field goal of Rafael Septien's career, a 51-yarder to give Dallas a 6-3 lead. And then here was the big one, Steve DeBerg on a play-action fake to O.J. Simpson, and Dallas really went for it, and he hit Solomon.
And the reason that was so effective was in short yardage, and Solomon was lined up as a wing, and he got behind the secondary. So those were the big plays the first half.
And now we go to the second half, and Ray Wershing kicking off to Ron Springs and Wade Manning. Wershing, earlier in the game, had a 29-yard field goal, and he kicked the point after O.J. punched over his first touchdown since October of 1978. The kick going down the right side. Ron Springs will meet it at the 10, to the 25, to the 30. Spun and still on his feet and got to the 40-yard line. He was hit by Saraceno and then Cornelius, but he wouldn't quit. And finally, Bobby Farrell had to take him down.
I'm going to tell the Dallas fans one thing right now. This Ron Springs is going to improve their return team, their kickoff return team. He's going to make a lot of big plays. I like the way he accelerates. He's quick. He's got some size. He's going to break some long runs, Vinny.
First and 10 from the Dallas 40-yard line. Drew Pearson moving to the left side. The running backs Dorsett and Newhouse. And there's Jay Saldy going to the right side. And Dorsett with Scott and Rafferty out in front of him, but he's dragged down by Danny Buns, and there'll be a flag on the play. A lot of movement by Dallas, and I would guess it was Jay Saldy who was the last man in motion guilty of the infraction. Pretty good blocking up front for Dorsett, but the Cowboys will be pushed back to the 35.
Number 87, offense.
So that's Jay Saldi, who was the last man moving, and he made his turn too soon. So it's 1st and 15 from the Dallas 35. Pearson is wide left and Hill right. Here comes Dorsett. And Dorsett will be wrestled down by 3 Niners. Ted Vincent, along with Scott Hilton and Dan Buns, who made the first hit.
They've been in that formation twice and ran the same play twice. It's what we call a full draw to Dorsett.
So that'll make it 2nd and 10 on the Dallas 40. Dallas somewhat shocked. First, San Francisco took a lead of 3-0. Then it was tied. Then Dallas took a 6-3 lead, only to have San Francisco lead 10-6 at halftime. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Robert Newhouse. Willie Harper, number 59, did a very good job of stacking up the play. Webb was then able to move over, but Harper was the guy who jammed it. He was out last year with a knee injury. All-American out of Nebraska.
Let's watch number 26, Preston Pearson. The Cowboys have their special pass offense personnel in. We always had trouble with defense in this guy. He can beat most linebackers. I always like to put a defensive back on him, not a linebacker.
He's the dean of the NFL running back, so he's worth looking at. 3rd and 7 from the 43 of Dallas. Out of the shotgun. And under a rush. And there is that pass rush, George, that you were talking about. Cedric Hardman was the first man, and then Dwayne Board. They picked him up from Pittsburgh. And Hardman and Board coming off delighted about things.
First rush of the afternoon. If they get that, they're going to be right in the ball game to the wire and have a chance to win.
Dwayne Board was a 5th-round draft choice this year by Pittsburgh. And look at Tom Landry. Anything but plastic. He looked a little angry over there.
Well,
then.
I don't blame him, because that first series on offense, the second half, when you're behind, you want to fire it up, get them going.
4th and 16 from the 33. Danny White.
Nice punt.
And he's going to hang it over to the 25-yard line. Dungy to the 30 and to the 35. Stepped out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So San Francisco, thanks to that sack, will take over 1st and 10 on their own 37-yard line, and they're leading as Landry talks to Ernie Stautner.
You know, Vinny, we said at the top of the show, you asked me, did the 49ers have a chance? Dallas offensively showed no emotion, showed no spark. Now the defense, the Dallas defense, has to fire it up, turn the ball over, give them field position.
In his 20th year, the 5th winningest coach in football, Tom Landry. 1st and 10, they'll spot it at the 36. In motion goes O.J., but it's Wilbur Jackson out across the 40-yard line, falling to the 43. Aaron Kyle had to come up and hit him, and then Bob Brunig came over to give him a little help. And Tom Landry, for the first time, not just standing by himself, he's on the phone with Mike Ditka in front of him.
That's Jim Myers next to him. What they're trying to find out is what was the breakdown on their pass protection.
So it is 2nd and 4 on the San Francisco 43. Solomon is left, Seal, the tight end, on the right side. Schumann is wide right. And it's Wilbur Jackson, but he just ran into a sea of blue jerseys, and that's the end of that.
You know, one thing the 49ers wide receivers are doing, we did their game last week, they're throwing downfield. They're attempting to block, which is something you don't see much in those wideouts.
Thomas Henderson is coming into a linebacking position, and we mentioned earlier that Mike Hegman started over him, and we gather that Hegman took over for Henderson in the starting role for a disciplinary reason, but of course Thomas is back in there now. 3rd and 3 from the 44 for San Francisco, with Schumann in a slot left. DeBerg is going to be unloaded, and DeBerg was hit by Dennis Thurman charging in. Then Henderson, but Thurman was the man who drilled him, number 32. Dennis went to school at USC. So Landry had to like that blitz.
We We call that a nickel dog. You come in with more people than they can pick up. He was lucky to even get the ball off.
So it is 4th and 4 from the 44. Wade Manning going all alone, and Danny Melville with a 39 average will be punting from about his own 33. Great effort there by Randy White to get through. And it goes flying out. Aaron Mitchell almost blocked it, but Willie Harper was there to pick him up at the last moment. So it is San Francisco 10 and Dallas 6.
A lot of people think using Federal Express is complicated. But really, it's so simple, even a vice president can do it.
Hello, Federal.
All you do is pick up the phone. We come to your office and pick up the package. Well, even a president can do that.
Hello, Federal.
In fact, using Federal Express is so simple that even a chairman of the board can do it.
Hello!
Federal Express, when it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight.
Antifreeze. You never think about it, or how it has to protect somebody beside you, or what could happen without it. Stranded, and no help for miles. Don't trust your luck. Don't trust the weather. Take out old, weak antifreeze now, and put your trust in Prestone, too. More people trust Prestone than all other brands combined.
We made it.
More people trust Prestone, and when you flush your cooling system, trust Prestone Super Flush.
Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, the CBS Sports Spectacular brings you action in the ring with Howard Davis. Action on the rink with top American skaters vying for national honors. Action on the road with the Italian Grand Prix. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Dallas will put it in play, 1st and 10 from its own 23. San Francisco leading 10-6. 11 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, it might be a day of upsets. Keynoted in Forest Hills, Tracy Austin defeated Chrissy Everett Lloyd 6-4, 6-3. And remember, actually make it Flushing Meadows, and we'll be going to the U.S. Open tennis immediately after football. That's Robert Newhouse getting it out across the 25-yard line.
You know, we talked about the passing attack of both clubs. In the first half, the Cowboys netted 28 yards rushing, and the 49ers 37. So neither team has done much running the football. And it's going to go right down to that. I think they're going to have to throw to win or to lose.
A 2nd down call for Roger Staubach with Dallas trailing San Francisco. 2nd and 5. Staubach to Dorsett. Dorsett inside, a good block by Herbert Scott, and he moved it out to the 35-yard line.
Now, Tom Landry's doing a smart thing. He's got 2 tight ends. He's forcing them to run the football.
And Bill Walsh, of course, seeing his young 49er ball club out in front. Now the question is, can his defense hold together? Remember, they led as much as 9-0 last week against Minnesota and let it get away. And he has to be thinking about whether the 49ers have come of age in one game. So it's 1st and 10 from the 35. Hill wide right, Pearson wide left. And it's still Dorsett and Newhouse. Staubach going to the left side, and Billy Joe appeared to be a little surprised. Willie Harper was there with him, and he looked a little startled. Well, there's another upset as Tampa Bay upset Baltimore 29-26 in overtime. Neil O'Donoghue, a 31-yard field goal to win it. 2 weeks from now, we'll be in Tampa Bay. The Rams will be going against John McKay's crew.
They're tied for first with the Bears now. Both teams 2-0.
So 2nd and 10 on the Dallas 35. Little release to Newhouse, but he overthrew him in trying to get the ball over Willie Harper. Harper is 6'2", and Buns was putting a rush on.